recovery. Kunal, hi morning. Like you were saying, quite the mirror image of day before. Can we sustain the gains? Because today we have a strong handover from the global markets. GIFT Nifty also holding up.
It looks like that it's a good start for the markets, and I think my expectation is that we could probably build on to the gains which you've seen yesterday for the indices. Now the key over here is for the index to break past about this 26,000 hurdle on the spot levels. That I believe could be the first litmus test, which if the index manages to cross over today, then I think it could be a very good indicator that the markets are gearing up or getting back into the positive shape for itself. Good sector composition which was seen yesterday. You saw the emergence of few large cap names, making a comeback, covering across many sectors, realty, etc., which was also something which we spotted yesterday. Good part was the markets adhering to that support of 25,750 mark broadly on the spot levels. So these are the positives which the markets have been showing over the last couple of trading sessions, and especially yesterday. So that could probably be a point where the markets, we may expect that the markets will go into a building block from yesterday's where the markets left off yesterday. So my sense is that we could be now looking at the first major test of a hurdle, which is around the 26,000 mark. If we manage to cross over this, then I believe that we can probably expect momentum as well as risk on sentiment to come back again.
Yeah, and you could tell that in the broader market strength as well yesterday. But Kunal, what about your stock strategies?
In fact, on the broader market, Aisha, 84% of the stocks in the Nifty small cap index is trading below the 20 DMA. So this is extremely oversold. So if the markets have to go into any kind of a recovery, this is the space where you will see extreme amount of recovery. Talking of individual names, two buy calls is where I would suggest. Metal stocks managed to make a good comeback. And from that, Tata Steel is something which I think now starts to look very attractive purely in terms of risk reward, because the stock has been beaten down from those 186, 87 levels to almost 160, 162, which it tested in the recent close. So keeping a stop loss of 162.5 would suggest a buy on Tata Steel for a near-term target of 172. The second would be a buy on Samvardhana Motherson. That's also a chart which is now getting up for a breakout of its previous swing resistance is above 120 levels. So we'd look out for a buy with a target of 126, stop us at 117.
What about an internal, Kunal? Up 2.7% yesterday, a bit of a comeback after, what's been slightly prolonged underperformance. What next for an internal?
So you look at it from two phases. One, post results, when the stock was at 350, 360, there was a sharp period of a correction from 360 to 300, thereabouts. And then came a phase where in the last 15, 20 rupees, the pace of sell-off has reduced, even though the inertia move for the stock has been on the downside. So it's a natural phase. So the first phase is a sharp correction, and the second is a phase where the stock goes into a grind. I believe that this level of 285 is a good support for eternal, and this could actually be taken as a good territory where traders could look to accumulate.
Okay. Tata Power. It was in the news, and there was an analyst call as well, which the company arranged for, or a shareholders call as well that the company had arranged for yesterday, and we'll get you the takeaways, viewers, with regard to that call. How's it looking on charts?
Flatlined. You look at the charts for the last 10 months for Tata Power, 380, 400. That's been the band for the stock price. I mean, this would have been a very good zone where option writers could probably have made good amount of money, because when the stock generally gets into this kind of a tight range, it makes a lot of sense to go into that kind of a zone where you're expecting the stock to consolidate in this case. But sooner or later there comes a point of time where many of the stocks would come out of this kind of a range, and when the market specifically changes its texture. So I think in that context, yes, there could be a possibility that stocks like Tata Power can make a comeback. But for that to happen, we'll need to have a confirmation of a 400 level breakout for the stock.
And what about an Adani Enterprises, Kunal? Is that one looking interesting?
Yeah, that's something which starts to look very attractive, because after this 5 or 6 days of a 50, 60 point grind for Adani Enterprise, where the stock was stuck into a range, almost contrasting days which the stock had shown in the last 5, 6 trading sessions, extremely volatile in that band. But then yesterday the stock managed to show signs of a breakout, or at least a confirmation of a breakout of that volatile band. So this could probably be an indication that the stock may try and make a comeback. The good part is that the stock is below its 200-day moving average. So even if there is a mean reversion, we are looking at a potential 60 to 70 points upside on the stock in the very immediate term. And as a mean reversion play, we generally expect the stock to come back slightly above its 200-day moving average. So maybe at least a 4 to 5% upside over the swing returns for Adani Enterprises is something which I'll watch out for.
And then Kunal, there's the mandatory check, InterGlobe Aviation and Keynes. the big volatile stocks, or rather have been volatile, presenting opportunities as well, therefore, to traders. Give us a sense of how those look for a trade today, or would you avoid? Or do they look ripe for maybe a buy today, sell next week kind of trade?
So maybe not buy today and sell next week, yeah, but start to accumulate at current levels. I think, see what happens is initially there is a spate of negative news flow for stock prices. These stocks, they go into a correction. Then comes a point when suddenly the news is, nowhere there for these stocks and they dry up. The news dries up, and that I think indicates that the stock prices is going to a consolidative phase. I strongly believe that names like InterGlobe Aviation, Keynes, etc., they would now enter into that second phase where the news could dry up for these stocks, and then these stocks would go into a time-wise consolidation. That throws in generally a good opportunity to try and buy these stocks at dips. We've been maintaining the stance at 4600, 4650 mark as a support for InterGlobe Aviation on the lower side and 5100 on the higher side. So this could be a trading range which traders could look to trade into a band for InterGlobe Aviation.
Okay, so